So in this video, I'm going to give you my favorite advice, my favorite tips to opening up your face-to-face final expense telesales calls with pizzazz and with effectiveness. If you're trying to close as many final expense leads as you can in person, this video is going to give you some direct to the point advice of how to progress more of your openings into effective presentations to which you close more policies. My name is David Duford. I own Duford Insurance Group. We train agents nationally to sell final expense in person and over the phone. If you'd like more information about how we do it, go to davidduford.com/FAQ for more details. So an effective opening starts right at the door. Whether you're door knocking to get in or whether you preset an appointment, we're presuming you've already been through the script of either. What you do at the door and as you walk in truly matters. A couple of things that's really important. First of all, the best way to open is to make eye contact and smile and offer to shake the person's hand. As you're coming into the door, make sure that you look towards where it is that you want the client to sit. You see, sales is about taking control, not aggressively, but subtly. So for example, we teach agents to walk in the door and say, hey, why don't we sit at the kitchen table and start making our way over there without asking the permission of the client. That sounds a little hokey, I'm sure, but the thing about it is that you're setting the frame of who is in control and who is following. What you don't want to do in sales is be the one who is following. You want to be the one in control and leading. So taking those first initial steps to control where the conversation is going to be at, typically at the kitchen table where decisions are made, is very important. Now, along the way, we of course want to become likable. There's been a lot of talk about how rapport is overrated, and I think there is some truth to that. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to be likable people. People buy from who they like and trust. And trust is enough in many cases, but being likable is just that little extra step that I think makes a difference. And so for me, my goal is just to make the client comfortable, laugh, and to ask about things that are obviously in their environment that indicate that they care about somebody or something. So if I see pictures of grandchildren, I'm going to ask them, hey, it looks like you got grandkids. How many you got? What's it like being a grandparent? Is it better than being a parent? And that might be all I ask before I jump into the introductory part of the presentation, where I tell them who I am, why I'm there, and why they should care. I may also ask them open-ended questions. Again, one tip about talking and getting to know somebody and having them like you is to ask questions, preferably open-ended questions. An open-ended question is where you ask a question that can't be answered yes or no. So what's your thoughts about your grandkids? I mean, it's a silly sounding question, but then they can tell me all what they think. Oh, I love them. They're great. It's the best thing ever. What's it like being a grandparent? Probably a better way to ask it. But point is, you get a story, you get experience, you get wisdom, and they're being asked something which very few of our prospects are asked much of anything, are not really cared about in some cases, unfortunately. But this gets them to have an affinity towards you. Because whenever anybody asks you a question and they seem interested, and that's the other side of this, express interest, nod when you're talking to them, look them in the eye, smile and laugh a little bit, they're going to see, hey, this guy is actually intrigued by me. They'll be flattered, and they will more likely than not reciprocate back to you and listen to you when it's your turn to sell them. Now, with that said, how much rapport building should you do? This has been a matter of a concern for many, many years of mine. A minute to 2 minutes tops. Probably 1 minute or less is plenty. Just say enough to get the client comfortable. Pro tip, a great way to make sure your client is comfortable and you know that they are is that they've laughed. If they've laughed at some silly, cheesy joke that you said, they're comfortable with you enough to be exposed as laughing, and that is a surefire green flag to proceed into the next part of the presentation. So moral of the story, when you're opening your final expense presentation, don't overthink this stuff. Just be a nice, likable person. Focus on asking questions of the client to get to know them more so that they are comfortable for you or with you. So when you get into the sales presentation, you ask the really tough questions, the emotional questions about what it's like to die without insurance and what their experience with death has been. They'll be more forthcoming in providing that information to you. And therefore, you'll have a much better chance of eventually getting their money and closing a policy on them. I hope you enjoyed this brief training on opening successfully in your face-to-face final expense presentation. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and make sure to check out davidduford.com if you're interested in joining a final expense agency that actually cares. Our focus is mentoring agents to be successful on a one-on-one basis whether you're selling over the phone or in person. And we back it up with our Make Money Guarantee. Pretty cool. To learn more about that, go to daviddeford.com. Thanks for watching.